Hola friends, my name is Zara K. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about the books that I completed in January. I had written a post on the books that I wanted to read early this month. You can find that TBR post in the description box below. Before we jump into my wrap-up, I just wanted to let you know a bit about the various challenges I undertook this month and will be participating throughout the year. As mentioned in the blog post, I created 2 challenges for myself. One is the Priority Series Quarterly Challenge, where I read 1 trilogy every quarter. That way, end of this year, I can be done with 4 of my priority series that I have been meaning to get to for quite some time now. Another challenge is 21 books in 2021. This is self-explanatory, I guess. I'm planning to read 21 high priority books this year. There are a few books that make into both of these challenges, and I'm guessing it's doable. Apart from this, I'm participating in the Buzzwordathon Reading Challenge, run by Kayla from Books in Lala channel. She has given us a buzzword for every month, and we must read a book based on that word. January's word was dream. I'll be giving the Goodreads group link in the description box below if you would like to join the group and participate in the readathon. There are a few other challenges and buddy reads that I'll be participating throughout the year. I will mention them as and when they are relevant. So now that you have a decent idea on my reading motivations, I think we can safely move on to the January wrap-up now. In my TBR post, I had mentioned 7 books of prompts that I definitely wanted to get to by this month end. Let's see if I managed to do that. I wanted to read The Ninth Train by Jen Williams, which is part of my quarterly series challenge. The Well of Ascension by Brandon Sanderson, which is one of the books in my 21 books in 2021 list. The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. This is also a book from 21 books in 2021 list. The Dream Daughter by Diane Chamberlain. This is the book I chose for the dream prompt from the Buzzwordathon. I also wanted to read at least 1 arc, that is advanced reader's copy, because I'm falling back on reading the arcs that I received and I want to stay on top of it this year. I also wanted to read an Indian non-fiction, and then I also left some space in my TBR for mood reads, because as you know, I am a major mood reader, and though I like to work within the boundaries of a TBR, I also can never be very rigid with it. So that was the plan. Let's see how the execution went. The Ninth Train by Jen Williams. Yeah, obviously a success. I did read it. I actually started this channel with a summary video of this book. By the way, please do check that out if you haven't done it yet. I have given the link in the card above. This book is part of both the quarterly challenge as well as the 21 books in 2021 challenge. I loved it. It's one of the most underrated high fantasies in my opinion, as not many in the booktube talk about it. Actually, apart from Elliot, I haven't heard anybody else talk about it. 5 stars. I'm definitely continuing on with the series. Next, The Well of Ascension. I'm currently reading this one. It's quite a chunker of a book with 781 pages and my progress is slow. But I'm hoping to get it done by this weekend, so technically by the time this video is up, this book should be in my January read pile. So neither a success nor a fail, I will consider it as in progress. Then The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. Okay, this month has been a very weird month for me, reading wise. As you will see in this later video, I could not read any physical books this month except The Well of Ascension. The thing is, I read at nights. During the day, I'm too distracted, and every time I pick up a physical book to read, I fall asleep. But night times are better, and with Kindle, I find it easier to stay awake and read. Is it because of the artificial light? No clue. But this month, I couldn't manage to read any physical book except the one that I'm reading now. Hence, The Blade Itself, I couldn't read, and I'm rolling it over to the next month's TBR, so technically it's a fail. Next, The Dream Daughter by Diane Chamberlain. This was my choice for the buzzword dream, and I struggled to complete this book honestly. I think Gabby from Gabby Reads mentioned this book in her channel. Please don't quote me on this. I found myself liking the synopsis. There is a pregnant lady in the 70s finds that her unborn child has a fatal heart defect that can be fixed in the future. So her brother-in-law, who himself was a time traveler, sends her to the future to help her daughter survive this condition. The story moves back and forth between the past and the future. See, I found the beginning of this book quite interesting, okay? But the linear storyline bored me to death. It was too bland, and I struggled to pick it up every time I set it down. If not for the audiobook and my commitment to the challenge, I definitely would not have completed this book. 3-star average read. Now, any one arc. I should say I did well with this prompt because I completed 2 arcs this month. One is When Life Gives You Mangoes by Kieran Gittin, and another was The Dog Share by Fiona Gibson. I will be giving their reviews shortly in this video. Then Indian non-fiction. I'm not sure if I can call it as non-fiction, but I read an illustrated version of Mahabharata by Kamala Chandrakant. Since it's an Itihasa, I think I'm gonna club it under non-fiction and consider this prompt as a success. Okay? Now mood read. I wanted to give some leeway in my TBR for my mood reads. And as expected, I did read quite a few books based on my mood this month. Most of them were graphic novels, but if you consider only the novels, then that would be Breaking Perfect and The Hating Game. So the mood read prompt's done too. Let's move on to some brief reviews of the books I read. As I said, I completed 2 arcs this month. When Life Gives You Mangoes by Kieran Gittin, which is a middle grade novel that released in October 2020. I received this arc in September, and it's only now that I could get around to reading it. It was good. It was a story of trauma, friendships, and family. I found the mental health representation in this book to be a bit icky, okay, especially her parents' attitude. But otherwise, it was a very satisfactory read, especially the twist in the end. It blew my mind. So 4 stars for When Life Gives You Mangoes. The second arc was The Dog Share by Fiona Gibson. This book is up for release in March 2021. This is a story about a lady in her early 50s and how a chance adoption of a stray dog changes her life and the lives of the people around her. The story was cute, nothing groundbreaking. I read it in 2 sittings and it acted as a good palate cleanser. 3 stars for The Dog Share. Now, let's move on to the mood reads of this month. I read an erotic novel called Breaking Perfect by Lydia Michaels. I generally don't read erotic novels. It just doesn't suit my taste. But this month, I wanted to get out of my comfort zone. I wanted to get a taste of the other side, and boy, was I surprised. It's a story about a polyamorous relationship. Honestly, I read loads of reviews before starting this book, okay? Because though I wanted to be surprised and maybe a little bit shocked, I didn't want to be traumatized or disgusted by the story. I wanted to take the risk, but I didn't want to hurt myself. So with great caution, I picked this book. I told myself that at the first instance of discomfort, I will DNF it. This book astonished me, especially the writing. Lydia Michaels is an extremely talented author. There, I said it. If somebody can take extremely taboo, and scandalous subjects and turn it into something palatable to an audience, then that's definitely a talent. I also appreciated the OCD representation. I was more piqued by the OCD representation than the more risk bits of the story. But it definitely was not the crude or crass story that I was fearing it to be. And that surprise was the best part of reading this book. 3 stars for Breaking Perfect. Then I listened to an audiobook, The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. This is an absolute favorite of countless booktubers, and I wanted to know what the hype is all about. This is a hate-to-love office romance story. Honestly, it was okay. It was funny, bantery, and good. I didn't go into it expecting some life-changing moment, and I didn't get that. Fair enough. Give it a try if you like an easy, chill, sweet read over the weekend. You won't regret it, I promise. 4 stars for The Hating Game. After that, I read another middle grade novel by the Indian mathematical genius Shakuntala Devi, In the Wonderland of Numbers. As the title suggests, this is a book about numbers and how kids can come to love them instead of running away from them. 4 stars for this book. Then, I got a few Amar Chitrakatha comics from my Kindle Unlimited. If you're not aware of them, then Amar Chitrakatha is one of India's best comic churning machine. I read Prahlad, which is a Puranic story of a child who, despite being the son of an Adharmic Asuric king, Hiranyakashipu, was acclaimed to be one of the most illustrated devotees of Bhagwan Vishnu. 3 stars for Prahlad. I also read Madhvacharya, the story of one of the most acclaimed saints from South India who espoused Dvaita philosophy and was the founder of the Madhva Parampara. 5 stars for Madhvacharya. I also read an illustrated novel by Curtis Wickland named Us, which is a simple book of illustration about their daily lives as a loving couple. It was sweet and heartwarming. 4 stars for this book. After that, I read a children's book called Big Adventures of a Little Tree by Nadia Springer. Nothing great about it. It was nice. It's a kid's book, as I said. The illustrations were good and I completed it within maybe 20 to 30 minutes. Yeah, so 3 stars for Big Adventures of a Little Tree. So those were the books I read in January. Here are some of the stats. As you can see, I read more ebooks and audiobooks this month. Surprisingly, there were more middle grade and romance novels than high fantasy. And then the numbers are very revealing, like 3 5 stars, 5 3 stars, and 4 4 stars. So as far as the final breakup goes, not bad, isn't it? And that's the end of my January wrap-up, guys. I'll be posting a video every single week. If you would like to see more bookish content from me, then please don't forget to like my videos, subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon. Looking forward to share more of my bookish thoughts with you. Let's keep the bookish conversation going. Until next time, stay safe and healthy. Om Shanti.